maybe I can do a little bit here. I am only one, but I am one. So what I propose is, and I'm going to need to lay some groundwork because I'm going to actually have to read quite a bit of information to you from Christian scientists. Now, these are our own, so to speak. I disagree on the one end with the scientific creationist and the intelligent design logic. But I also disagree on the other end, the other pole of extremity, with the atheists. I'm going to try to take a middle road here. And that's what makes my task so extremely difficult, because I have to build up some information, some knowledge about the true reliability of science and evolution, and the false logic of how the atheists extrapolate from the scientific information that there cannot be a God. And I have to share with you the middle road. So that means I have to do quite a bit of reading to you. This video series is really, truly, probably going to be 20 and 30 long. It's going to bore you to death, I'm afraid. Most of you won't watch the intermediate parts of it. You have to get it one step at a time. I can only do 10-minute videos, but I'm going to be reading some information that you must understand the crucial steps to the thinking of showing why I believe both extremes are illogical. Both of you. There is another way. I have several... Oh, I didn't bring them down. Well, I had my books. I'll get them here in a minute. I have several different authors who are Christians and who are absolute fabulous evolutionary scientists. Ken Miller is one of the scientists who destroyed intelligent design in court. And yet he believes in an intelligent designer, God. Evolution didn't make him an atheist. Evolution certainly hasn't made me an atheist. And I'm not condemning atheists any more than I'm condemning the intelligent designers or the scientific creationists. I'm just saying your extremes are unnecessary. There is a better way, I believe. And of course I can't convince all of you. I'm not worried about it. I'm willing to talk to you about it. But at least hear my case. Because we're leading to world war here when science really demonstrates that life can arise from just stuff. And then what are we going to do? Yeah. Think about this. Yeah, okay, I went and got my books. This is John F. Haupt. God After Darwin, A Theology of Evolution. How did the Darwinian evolution revolution change our understanding about God? It did not prove God doesn't exist, but it has changed how we should understand God. And I don't see the creationists or the intelligent designers adjusting. And their views, their logic, is going to lead to a tragic loss of faith. Guaranteed. That's why I don't agree with them. I'll be using lots of material out of Haupt. The other one is Finding Darwin's God by Ken Miller. And coupled with that, his other book, his brand new book out, Only a Theory, where he explains as an absolute biological evolutionary scientist how truly powerful evolution is. Folks, evolution works. Instead of believing that it is satanic and godless and immoral and evil, it's a natural explanation of our natural world. And it works. You've got to begin to realize this. The evidences that Ken Miller brings out by himself are breathtaking. If we will approach this from a different angle, instead of being opposed to this work of God, if we will appreciate the science, it can help us maintain our faith and increase our knowledge. A great combination. And then Michael Dowd. Thank God for evolution. And I haven't used a lot of his stuff yet. Anyway, I'm giving you the text. And then, of course, Stephens and Meldrum on the Mormonism side, evolution and Mormonism. So I'm kind of mixing them all together, kind of putting a lot of information together for both Mormons and Christians and atheists, if they'll listen. If you guys want to listen, that's fine. You probably think you've already heard it all. I'm sure you think you've got all the answers. But I think Ken Miller's got some points for you to ponder. I truly do. So these are kind of the texts that I've been involved in really heavily for the last several weeks in the process of beginning to do this series of videos. I believe there is great value. And quite frankly, in fact, I think I've got my scripture right here. Joel chapter 2. Joel chapter 2 in the Old Testament. Let me see if Hosea, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nehemiah. Joel, Amos. Okay, Joel. Joel chapter 2. Okay, here we go. Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And it shall come to pass that afterward, that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days will I pour out my Spirit. And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into the darkness, the moon into blood, great and terrible before the day of the Lord. So this is about the last days, the end of times. One of our former prophets, Joseph F. Smith, said that this applies to the rise of the scientific knowledge in our day. It is prophesied in our own Bible that this rise, this magnificent rise of knowledge is supposed to be occurring. Not because it's satanic, but because it is God-inspired. They will prophesy, they will dream dreams, and they will see visions. Knowledge will greatly extend around the earth. We're living in that day. Knowledge explosion is enormous right now. And it's very exciting. If you can understand that science and the rise of the explanations of evolution are coming about because God pours His Spirit upon all flesh, then it's God-inspired. Why are you fighting the work of God when you're fighting evolution? If you approach it that way, it makes you want to stop and think, doesn't it? And I know the atheists are cackling with glee. Cackle all you want. You've got some logical problems of your own I'm going to deal with. I promise. I do not see how you can proclaim using your scientific authority anything about the meaning of life or about its meaninglessness. That's going beyond the scientific method. You've crossed the line. And I've got some very good information by Ken Miller on that for you atheists. So make no mistake about it, I'm not letting any of you off the hook. I'm trying to take a middle road here. I'm trying to say we need a rational discourse. We Christians need to change our perceptions about the kind of God we worship and believe in and present to the world, because it's very incomplete, it's very shallow, it's far too narrow, and we need to come to an understanding that science is not the enemy. That's what I want to accomplish with this series of videos. I guess we'll see how well I succeed. All I can do is give it my best shot.